drill, the passion, the thrill. The stadium's roar, you can feel the chill. You can feel the chill. The teams are ready, the battles will start. With battles will start, with dreams of glory, they'll play with heart.
Kalimera, kalispera, kalovradi, kalinichta, whatever time you're listening or watching, this is Mappa. I'm here. This guy ain't Thassos. He's more handsome, he's got more hair, and he's out in Cyprus. It's Petros. Come on.
Yeah, man, I finally managed to get rid of the frog foot.
Oh, you got rid of him.
I got rid of the frog foot, and tonight I'm going to be the resident flower pot.
Manamuton Thassos and Grimare. You can't do that to him.
I'll reconsider next week.
Okay. Well, before we start, boys and girls, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. Just a little update for you. In the last 90 days, our Instagram content has hit over 700,000 views. 700. I'll say that again. Over 700,000 views on our Instagram content. Instagram alone. And we're not even end of February. I mean, come on. And there's more to come.
Something is going the right way over there.
Of course.
Yeah.
And on Friday, landing is the next episode of Past Choices by Stichima with Dion, or as you guys call Dione of Apollon. So we're good. We are absolutely good. Right. There's Angelo's here. What's happening there, Angelo?
Yeah,
where's Roy? Roy's having a break, Andremo. Roy is still part of the platform. Don't worry. He's just having a long break. He needs a bit of a break. He's been doing this for 5 years straight, 4.5, 5 years straight. And he said, boys, I need a break. So he did. He went to Abu Dhabi. He got a new dog. Like he's taking a long chill. So it's all good, man. It's all good. But listen, you got Petros. What are you complaining for?
Yeah, he got jealous because I got a dog, so he got a dog.
Okay. Well, both of your dogs are cute, to be honest, man. It's like cute wars. So yeah. Anyway, Petros, let's get cracking, man. Let's get cracking.
Yes, please.
Let's get cracking. First game, Karmiodis 0, Ethnico 0. Nothing really much to discuss. Karmiodis had a few chances. Ethnico had a few chances, but really and truly, man, I'll be honest. I only watched this game because I knew it was going to be a half-empty stadium or a three-quarters empty stadium, and I was listening out for abuse from supporters or anything else I could make a meme out of. But really and truly, there's nothing to talk about. I mean, there was this little penalty shout, but nothing really there for me. What do you reckon?
Someone would expect that these two teams are basically of equal level, so you would expect a draw. But to be honest, I did not expect a goalless draw. I expected that someone would score like a 1-1 or a 1-0 game, something like that, for either side. But okay, sometimes it happens. I don't think any of the two teams have a complaint. I mean, they're still at the same position, both of them.
Do you know what I always wanted to ask you when it came to Cyprus football? Because obviously you live out there. We've only been doing Cyprus football for a couple years. When you look at teams like Karmiodis and Ethnico, I've always seen Karmiodis as like a yo-yo club, always up and down. But Ethnico seem to have more of a reputation as a top flight team, if that makes sense. What do you make of both teams and obviously how they operate? Because Karmiodis, as we know, they had Punin. I don't know if he's still around, maybe. I think Gigi's,
He's not around.
He's not around.
No. He's not
I've
around.
got a problem with my eye. It's just I just keep thinking.
It's some fly flew in.
Yeah.
He's not around. He's not around.
Russian spy, fly, not spy.
Yeah.
As for Ethnico, you got Gigi there, who seems to be always there. So, from a Cypriot football fan's perspective, and forget the team that you support, what can you tell our viewers that perhaps we don't know about either club in terms of their history or even just like their stints in the first division?
Okay, basically, as for Gigi's, he's been there since forever, since I can't remember. And Ethnikos has always been, you can say, a stable team in the championship, somewhere within the same positioning rank every year. a couple of years back, they had a bit of a misfortune that were in a bit of a trouble going to the second division, but they managed to scale up and stay in the division. Other than that, for Ethnikos, yeah, it's just a stable team in general throughout the years. Now, as for Karmiotissa, I must say that this year they do seem a bit different. After the previous years with all the managerial changes and all the player changes that they've been going through, at least it seems like this year they have retained some stability from some point onwards. Yeah, you did have the occasional coach coming in one way and leaving out the other, but you must admit that they do seem to be creating a stable team lately. When I say lately, at least since December, November, they have become a bit more stable.
Well, yeah, they got Gatbosi that's got a pretty good reputation as a coach in Cyprus. I think he was kind of unlucky at Othello. You know, he got them promoted and obviously lost his job, and then he ended up at IL. And again, IL is a poison chalice, so you can't really gauge. You know, if you look at where they are now, I'm pretty certain they'd have loved to have Gatbosi there still, to be honest. But he came in October, and in all fairness, he's done what he can do with that squad, really and truly.
That's true.
Anyway,
you can't
and
do
you got David. Exactly. And you got David Badia, who, listen, he seems to have a magic wand when it comes to clubs in Cyprus. Wherever he's been, he's done a good job. So, and the scouting has been really good for Ethnikos. But Karmiotissa actually made the signing, bro. They made the signing kind of like out of the blue. This guy called Franchu. He's an Argentinian. He's 26 years old. I think he spent time at Real Madrid and Vallecano's youth academies. Then he went to Eibar, Cartagena, and Diosgyőr. I don't even know Diosgyőr in Hungary. I'm doing a Thassos. Fuck knows what team that is.
You want me to do a Thassos? Maybe I should call him Franchu.
Okay, we can call him that. Listen, I'm pretty certain the commentators will tell us how to pronounce it.
They're probably going to go with Franchi.
Yeah, even though I found out today that Dione actually isn't Dione, it's Dion. That's what he told me. It's not Dione. Just don't pronounce the E. It's a silent one. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next game, Petros.
Oh.
And yes, interestingly enough, Paralimni beat Salamina by 2-0. The first goal scored from the spot, Musilani, the guy that looks like he comes from the barrio. He looks like a Mexican gangster, to be honest. He scored the penalty. And what do you reckon of that? Clear penalty there?
For me, it's a gamble. It was a gamble for me. It was a gamble.
Okay. Well, the handball was given, believe it or not, that handball was given. And then Rodrigo Souza scored quite a remarkable goal. You don't stop those, bro. You don't stop those. And
I think it was more of a teleportation goal than a aim and shoot for the goal.
Yeah.
That's a fluke, man. That's a fluke.
Only mask goal. Yeah.
That's an only mask transportation unit. You know.
Yep. Well, that's what Hefte did last season against IL. A bit further out though.
Yeah,
that was a cross shot.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop the commentator from saying,
"Oh,
Fovero."
Yeah, it was Fovero.
Yeah.
Fovero transportation.
So, problems for Salamina, another defeat for Bursa. When they looked like they were turning things round when they drew with Ari last week, do you give them any hope to stay up?
Well, it's very difficult still because at the end of the day, they drew with Ari last week, and then before that they had the draw with Apoel. So what is it? Is it with do they see top 6 in front of them and they decide to get a draw? I'm glad that our team surpassed that. We didn't have a problem with that. But Salamina for sure are in dire straits. It's going to be very, very difficult for them. Even though if I look at the table and thinking, maybe I will give them maybe a 15% chance to stay in the first division.
Just 15, huh?
Yeah. It's quite difficult the way they are going, because it's not just that they are not getting points; they're not even scoring.
Yeah,
And if you don't score, you can't get any points, can you?
yeah, yeah. Well, the central defender scored twice last week, but none of their goal scorers strikers seem to be getting in amongst the goals.
Yeah.
And do you know what it is, Ray? When I look at other leagues, I'll give you the Premier League, for example. You look at the bottom 5 or 6, and you could say maybe 2 out of those 6 are going to go down definitely. And then there's always one that's going to be fighting the rest. With a Brathlima, 1 week I could say, all right, with the exception of Moni or Monia 29, who are probably going to go down anyway, with the exception of them, everyone else, I could say, okay, well, Salamina having a bad time. But when it comes to Group B and the league splits, it's anyone's game. Anyone's game.
Especially this year, that it's only going to be one game.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that. That makes it even more difficult. If it was 2 games, that's a totally different story. But being 1 game each, quite difficult from the location that they are at the moment.
For sure. What about Paralimni then? Because again, they were tipped to go down. They made a few signings in the summer, then they made a few signings in January, and they're picking up points here and there, man. I mean, that was what we call a 6-pointer. That's a big win for them. Big win for them.
As far as I'm concerned, Paralimni is, if there's one team of the last 3 that has a chance of staying on for staying in the division, that will be Paralimni. Because to be totally honest, I mean, Paralimni has played in many occasions decent football, and if I take out the many times, I mean, I can't even remember the last time that Paralimni didn't have 1 or 2 or more red cards received in a game. They received penalties like that with the red cards in many games this year. I can think of at least 5, 6, if not more. So that was something that obviously was diminishing their power, receiving all those red cards one after the other. So I think if there's one team that can fight to stay in the division, I would say that is Paralimni.
Yeah. And do you know what's even interesting about this? From 8th to bottom, the bottom 8 teams in the league, right? Paralimni have the most points in the last 5 games out of all those teams.
Yeah, there you go.
They've got 2 wins on the bounce.
Yes.
The closest team to them in terms of points is who is it? It's Garmiodis have got 4 points out of the last 5 games. Ethnic Gol got 2 points out of the last 5 games.
Still, anywhere from the 9th place to the 12th, so that's 4 teams that they're gonna fight to stay in the league. Yeah, and we're talking about some
big hitters.
Because the team in the 9th position has 21 points. And Paralimni, that is in the 12th, has 18. Yeah. So it's just 1 win.
1 game.
And everything tumbles. Everything tumbles. Like we said in the previous, the same stands for them. It's 1 game, the second round.
Yeah.
The third round.
For sure. And Paralimni have done something very, very shrewd. They've brought in another goalkeeper, very experienced one in Panayi, who was, as you know, was at Harmonia, it was at Harmonia since 2014. He had the loan spell at Ethnic last season. He's got 28 caps for the national team. I'll tell you what, I don't know if he's going to be first choice, but I'll tell you what, Adebayo, their goalkeeper, has been absolutely outstanding this season. So they've got 2 good goalkeepers there that fighting for that number 1 shirt. So, yeah.
It's bad enough that they had that guy blocking everything every time we play against them. Now they got Panayi also.
What can you do, bro? What can you do? It is what it is. This is football.
You can't have it all. Yeah.
This is football. Exactly. Right. Let's go on to the next game, shall we?
Yes, please.
And the next is, oh my goodness, Anorthosis beating IL by a 1-0. Iliev getting the goal with 6 minutes left to play. Another win for Anorthosis. Another good result for them, with Camoranesi doing absolute magical work at that club. And then IL, they haven't scored since when? Last 8 games, something ridiculous like that.
Nine still. They haven't won a game in 9 games. And now next week they're going to be facing Aboel. And from what I was hearing, also is a matter of life and death for them to get something out of a game because they've got no way out. I mean, we just called it 21 points. Not the first team to get relegated. The first position to take them out of relegation is 18 points, and they've got 21. So very tricky for our 9 games without a win. That's a long time, man. A long time.
Well, let's put something into perspective. As again, someone that lives in Cyprus that understands the climate, the culture. Let's say worst case scenario for AEL, they get relegated. First of all, what does that mean for Cyprus football in general? Because they're an institution. They're one of the first founding members of GOP, weren't they? If I'm not mistaken, 1930.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what does that tell you?
First of all, it would not be the first time that AEL got relegated if they do. That's one thing. Second thing, maybe that will give them the opportunity to rise up from the flames, because we know that they've been having difficulties financially, institutional wise, problems, and with all the rest of the stories coming and going, presidents disappearing without any statements, and all the rest of them. The only thing that will always be there will be the AEL fans. That's a definite 100%. It doesn't matter if they end up in the second division. It doesn't matter if they stay in the first division. Their fans will always stay with them. And that's a given fact. So, I don't know. Maybe they need to go to the second division in order to regroup and come back out of it stronger. If I'm not mistaken, last time that, I don't know if I'm not 100% sure still, but I think they got relegated before coming back up to the first division again and claiming the championship with Bambos, if I'm not mistaken. When was the last time they got relegated?
Pass. I couldn't tell you.
I think it was before Bambos. I think they got relegated before Bambos coming in as the head coach after they came again to the first division. And then they won the championship, I think. But I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. That's an interesting one. I'm certain that we're going to have to look into this for sure, because something like this needs to be looked into. I'm just checking online. I can't seem to find anything yet, but we'll take a look. Maybe one of our AEL supporting followers can tell us more about this, or if they can clarify this. But
yeah,
listen, at the end of the day, they've had, put it this way, it's similar yet contrasting fortunes with Anorthosis, because here you have 2 clubs, financial ruin, 2 clubs with questionable transfer activity, 2 clubs that have hired and fired head coaches, although one of them appears to be doing everything right in terms of working on a shoestring budget and just trying to make the best of what they have, whereas the other one has been throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticks. And that brings me back onto Anorthosis, because again, we've been saying this for the past few weeks. Camoranesi has come in and he's galvanized that squad. They're playing for each other. They're playing for the fans. It's almost as if the players are enjoying their football. And they've got someone like Rafael. Okay, Iliev scored the winner, but Rafael Lopez is the top goal scorer in the league with 12 goals.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
And AEK didn't want him. They're like, we don't need you anymore.
Yes, exactly. Well, AEK didn't want many players this year before the championship started. And then somebody called them back. And now they can't play without them. So, yeah. Well, as for Anorthosis, man, okay, listen, we all know what Anorthosis is going through. And you know what's the difference, I think? The difference between AEL and Anorthosis at this given point in time, that they both have the same difficulties. I would dare to say that maybe Anorthosis is in bigger trouble than AEL.
Yep.
Um,
From a
I
financial
think
perspective, for sure.
yes, from the financial perspective, that's what I'm talking about, the financial side. I believe that because Anorthosis has suffered from bad management, not just once, not just twice, and they have paid their price. It seems like the people that are there now that have taken over uh, are really holding the reins, and they're not letting loose. They can't even let loose because they're under sanctions for they can't even bring players in because of sanctions.
Yep.
They're not allowed to bring any new players in. So obviously they spoke to the leadership, they spoke to the players, said, guys, this is what we have. Please do your best. And we're gonna try and keep our word towards you, the players. And it seems like they're doing that. And it's working
Yeah.
out for them. They're making some right steps. They're making some right steps. Definitely not the same situation with AL.
No, definitely not.
No,
Definitely not.
no.
Although to Anorthos's credit, they somehow managed to find the money to rent Monte Caputo. They had that anniversary party there with the president of Cyprus and a few guests.
Yeah.
Let's move swiftly on.
You know what? Do you want me to talk about this now?
Listen, it's up to you. For me, with this show, the gloves are off. So you can say what you want. Listen, I said it before, and I'll repeat. If you want to know about my experience with IL, go to NC Network, nc-network.com. Look for the AE Lagos files. You'll find that right up. And you'll find some interesting things about IL and how this club has operated in the last 6 months. Just saying. Anyway, over to you, my friend.
Man, okay. It was their birthday, their anniversary. I understand that. What happened and they ended up doing it in Monte Caputo? Well, okay. You know what? There are many well-established Anorthosis fans that have got the money and they could have helped out because it's a birthday at the end of the day. Could have been a birthday present from some rich Anorthosiadi. Who knows?
Yep. Never know.
But the presence of some individuals, let's put it that way, at that ceremony, you know what? They're always trying to say in Cyprus, do not politicize football.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great move in doing that. That's a great move in doing that. Do not make it political. Do not make it about politics. Yeah.
This is what they say. Football shouldn't be about politics, but more often than not, it is.
You see what Skubal is saying?
Skubal? Yeah. It's my jug. It's my jug of coffee. Next time I'm going to do the comparison of mugs and jugs because I've got the normal mugs and I've got this jug because we've got a big show. It's a big show. And we've done 23 minutes already. It's just, yeah.
But you know what? It's not fair, man, because you're using a mug and I just got myself the biggest flask I can so I can drink my frappe.
Fishing flask.
Is my fishing flask, yes, but it's not as big as yours, and I'm jealous now. Why is yours bigger than mine?
I just born that way, I guess. Let's go. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next. And wow. Apollon held Apoel to a goalless draw, although they might have nicked it. They had a chance early on, thanks to Vid Belic. But to be fair to Apoel, they decided to start playing in the 40th minute, where they had several opportunities. And the Apollon goalkeeper had a pretty good game, in all fairness, although Ceci Dalmeida was sent off for what they call a professional foul, bringing down a man when he was through on goal. That's a very good save. There's some very good saves from Kun, the goalkeeper, during this game. But Petro, look, you and I have had a back and forth about Apoel for the past few months, and I said, look, you can't rule them out challenging for the title because of who they are and what they're capable of doing at times. But Thassos has been very, very critical of his own team, saying that the style of football they're playing isn't particularly great. It seems to be very, very predictable. And they've got some old players, Gedaliba, as they say in Cyprus. But are you surprised with their league campaign so far? What would you like to say about them? And let's be a little bit balanced today. Let's be real.
Yeah. I'm going to be completely balanced. Talking to some known Abuelistas in their podcast at the beginning of the championship this year, they asked me, what do I think that Abuel is going to do this year? My statement on that day was that I have doubts if Abuel is going to manage to keep on with this long season with the Europe included and the cup games and everything else, due to the age of many of their players, and obviously many things that followed throughout the season with the economic reasons, substitution of managers, all the three so far, and the way things are looking, they might as well be making it into 4 quite soon. But you never know. You never know. But yeah, that was my sentiment from the beginning of the championship, that it was a doubt for me if Abuel was going to be able to row the boat all the way to the finish line with the way they were forming up their team. And it seems like my thinking was Nostradamus influencing me.
Yeah. Well, mate, watching that game, as I said, they started playing in the 40th minute and they created some chances, which, okay, on another day might have gone in. Second half, yeah, it was one-way traffic, but watching them again, being as objective as I possibly can, I think Jimenez is a good coach.
Agree.
I think he's a very good coach.
Agree.
But I don't think the majority of these players can play to what he expects. What do I mean by that? Well, the back four, they concede goals. All right, that was their first clean sheet in God knows how many games. I don't know, right? But they concede silly goals. Midfield, they're not as stable as what they were under the crazy guy, Sapinto.
Yes.
And they're not scoring as many goals as they should. Okay, El Arabi is 39. He's got 10 league goals at the moment. But you're expecting more from Donis. You're expecting more from Marquinhos. And it's just like, whatever they seem to do, right, they kind of hit, miss, or maybe. They'll play well one game, and they'll play shit another, and they'll get a draw another. There's no consistency. And let's get it right. If they're not careful, they could drop out of that top 6. Because we mentioned Northosi winning games. Apollon don't look like they're going anywhere. So that they could be the ones to drop out of that top 6.
I agree with you. It's they're in dire straits if they're going to be staying in top 6. They might be ending up in the second half of the table, playing against Tael and Salamina and Ethnikos. Yeah. And yeah, definitely that's not a good thing for an Abuel fan. Definitely for an Abuel fan, that is not pleasant at all. Well, still, you know what? Something else also. I mean, because at the beginning before even the championship began, when we were looking at the different teams and the transfers and everything, imagine one of the best players, I would dare say, is Ambanya. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
No, for sure. This season, for sure.
He wasn't in how did they end up with their best player? Just because they happened to play against his team in the European games. Otherwise, they wouldn't be having eyes on him. So imagine, basically one of their best players for the season so far, they found him because he played against them at the beginning of the European games.
Yeah.
If they didn't even have him, who would you put in, let's say, a similar level to Ambanya?
Well, they got Sarfo, but he was injured. They got Sarfo by needing an operation.
Yes.
And to be honest, I think they knew he needed an operation when they bought Abanya. I think they knew. I think they knew that he needed an operation because he must have been carrying that injury for a while. I mean, they had Dalcio last season, who was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And Dogala was also brilliant last year for them.
Yep, and he's gone.
He's gone.
Defensively, they look good. They look very good last season. They conceded the least goals. But again, their back line this year, even though they brought in Laifi, who's certainly an upgrade from most of the players that they got there, central defensive position, it's not working.
It's not
Chebak's another
working.
year older. Susic
Yeah.
is another year older.
Marquinhos disappeared.
I think he got injured and he came back. He got injured. He got injured against us? He wasn't out for that long, but I think he's been in and out. He's been out of form as well. And that makes a big difference. Yeah. So, well, look, the final question I need to ask you about Arbor before we move on to Apollon is, do you think Europe has been too much of a distraction for the players, that it's affected their league form, or it's kind of covered up their league form? No,
I think it's covered up their league form, and some positive results that they got in Europe, I think, made them overestimate themselves, to be honest.
That's fair.
I think it
look,
didn't do them any good.
Scoval is watching. Scoval is watching. He's an Aboy listener. Maybe he can tell us his thoughts, because it'll be interesting, because obviously Thassos isn't here to absolutely rip the team apart like he normally does, which is fair. But there's something else that I need to bring to your attention, which I'm pretty sure you know about, and we can speak about Apollon and how well they've done, because Sofroni's come in, and look, I'm not his biggest fan, but I've got to rate him for what he's done with the club. They look very, very high in confidence at the moment. They're playing good football. They're getting points here and there. They're nicking draws at places where they'd normally drop points, and he's done a good job. But at full time, Sofroni was actually quizzed over comments made by Ketspire. Now, for the benefit of those who don't know, Terrorist Tim did a podcast with a Cypriot podcast the other week, and he basically said, he was talking about the Cyprus national team, and he said, what do you journalists expect? This fairy tale about Cyprus. We love the national team, but the previous coach, Sofroni, was gone in just 3 games, yet you Cypriot journalists insult Ketspire, talking about himself in the third person, like he's the Rock or something. He said, that's why I say Cyprus doesn't deserve anything different. It deserves to be in this situation. Cypriots don't take the national team seriously, so why would anyone else? Now, at full time, Mr. Avulsti was asked about his thoughts regarding what Mr. Ketspire said. And Sofroni went full-on Kendrick Lamar, like Kendrick Lamar did to Drake. He said, let the people judge. Yes, I left the national team, but I publicly apologized to the president, the board, and the fans. I never blamed the players. I never complained about the air conditioning, and I never gamble in casinos. Tip my hat off to you, sir, because you went up in my estimations after that. That was elite. And you know what? As you know, Petro, he could have said far worse about Mr. Ketspire, couldn't he?
Oh, yeah. He could have said a lot more about the guy with no balls that polishes his head just to touch something that feels like round like a ball, because he's got no balls. Ketspire sucks, man. Ketspire sucks. Come on.
Well, now, let's get it right. Apollon's press officer the next day came out to say, look, he shouldn't have said it. He's apologized. He feels bad for saying it. Heat at the moment kind of thing. But you know what? I think it's about time someone said something publicly, because Mr. Ketspire has been very, very open, saying whatever he wants. I mean, he criticizes the amount of foreigners playing in Cyprus, yet he was head coach of a club that played mostly foreign players. So the double standards and the finger pointing, and it's not my fault, it's everyone else's. It's about bloody time someone said something. What do you make of what Sofroni said?
First of all, I'm going to start with the man that has no balls, like Thassos says. Well, you know what? When the man that has no balls, he's best friends with Kuma the Heart, and that's what you get. No respect. No respect from one person, no respect from the other. Yeah, he's like the pot. What do they call it in Cyprus?
The pot calling the kettle black,
yeah? Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's one side of the coin. The other side about Sofroni is now, well, I'm glad he said what he said. He could have said a lot more. You know that I know he could have said a lot more. But I'm not telling. And from there on, I believe that the Apollon press officer coming out and saying, "Yeah, he apologized. It was just a like paper over the cracks for Sofroni."
Yep.
I don't think they really care, and I think after saying those words, he just turned his face around and giggled. And good on Sofroni for saying that, because at least an individual with some personality in the football world came out and said something about this guy at the end of the day, because no one else did so far. So hats off to you, Sofroni.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's move on. Another game where Omonia beat Omonia 29 by 3 goals to 0. Omonia 29 took the lead through Delon, but then Fernandez perhaps should have seen a red card. I mean, he was shown the red card, but then the referee went to VAR and then he overturned it. It did look like a very, very nasty challenge. And even though the VAR committee said, no, the referee got it right, it was only a yellow card, I still think that was dangerous play, and he's lucky to still stay on the pitch. Anyway, he then almost wins a penalty himself because he goes down in the box from a foul from Evandro, but the referee noticed that there was a handball in the build-up from Trujic, and that was overturned. Omonia then equalised early in the second half through Jovetic. Omonia then go 2-1 up through Loizu. Semedo scores a penalty of his own, and then Fernandez grabs one back with just a few minutes to go to make it a little bit of a difficult 10 minutes for Omonia, but they held on to get the 3 points. Pedro, we did the match review. I don't know what else we can add that hasn't already been said on the pod, but just for the benefit of those that didn't watch it, give us your evaluation of the game, as objective as you possibly can. By the way.
Yes, I'm going to be as objective as I possibly can. Even though I'm an Omonia fan, yeah, that was a difficult game going there. I mean, I had my reservations because of different reasons. First of all, the size of the pitch. Second of all, what we were expecting to get in front of us, facing two Omonia, two Furious, quoting Thassos.
He's done it. He's done it. Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, first half Omonia was not good on the pitch, and of course, two Bugler, two Furious took the lead with a very early goal at the second minute of the game, and Omonia didn't seem to be able to get away out of it, and scored to equalize the game during the first half. Changes took place at the half time. And then within 10 minutes, the team cleared basically the game by scoring 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of the 10 to 12 minutes of the second half. Yeah, and then more substitutions were done, and some chairs were kicked, and some rumbling was going on in the crowd. But we're not going to be talking about all those things.
No, we're not. Listen, we're going to wait for Vrionides next week because I'm sure he's got something to say about that. So we're
going to leave that part for Thassos.
Oh yes. Well, he's got lucky this week because there's loads, which again, hence this. Anyway, sorry.
And then close to the 80th minute of the game, Two Furious scored the 2. Two Furious scored the 2.
Two Furious scored the second. Yep.
Yeah, and that gave us a little bit of a cold shower, waiting for the remaining 10 minutes. Memories were coming back from games in the past. Thankfully, they did not become reality, and they just stayed in the past. Omonia gaining those 3 greatly required points to stay as close as possible to the teams that are ahead. And by the end of the round, we even managed to skip a position.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, we're going to go into the league table later on, but Omonia moved up to 3rd with that victory, which is looking good so far. It's looking good. And look, at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. And granted, we've had, I wouldn't say easy games, but teams, winnable games. Just put it that way. We had winnable games. Garmiodisa, Paralimni, we got Omonia Radiput. So you never know. You never know. But as we keep on saying, when it comes to the playoffs, that's when things change a lot. So hopefully these wins set us up nicely for the playoffs when they eventually Come, right, let's move on. I don't think there's anything else to say. I mean, Omonia Gosigna, bottom of the table at the moment. They're done as far as I'm concerned. You know, the next season they'll be in Division 2, but I don't think there's anything else we can say about them. They played well first half. They dominated
They did their best. They
midfield.
did their best.
Yeah. Ndulu was fantastic in the middle of the park. You know, Fiaga, the right back, again, got plaudits the day after, even though we spoke about how well he played. And then one of the websites decided, oh, let's write about him. Anyway, let's move on. Next game, Bafo beats Omonia Aradipo by 2-0. Anderson Silva giving them the lead before missing a penalty of his own. Looked like a bit of a dodgy decision there as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Dragomir went down. To me, it doesn't look like much was in it, in all fairness. It looked like he was backing into the player, but whatever, the referee gave the penalty, and for me, justice was served. The penalty was missed, but it didn't take long for Bafo to get a second goal early in the second half. Dragomir made it 2, and Bafo extend their lead at the top. Pretty straightforward victory for them. They didn't look like they broke a sweat, even though it was a defensive calamity leading to the second goal. But Pedromo, I don't know what else to say that I haven't already said about Bafo. I've been saying it for weeks. The title is theirs to lose. What are your thoughts on Bafo, mate?
Listen, the point about Buffalo, I agree with you. The title is for them to lose, because we can see that even in the odd occasion that they lose a point, the teams that are following them manage to destroy by themselves any opportunity they have of getting close to Buffalo. So yeah, at the moment it looks like it's more like for Buffalo to lose it than gaining it. But also it's a fact that even in the bad days that they don't perform in an adequate fashion on the pitch, they still manage to get the points, even if they're a little bit down. But still, I'm wondering about one thing though. I don't remember the last time that I have seen a team playing so many games in a season and still be in top form without really losing players, without injuries, serious injuries at least, and to keep on with the same intensities. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there because it seems a little bit fishy to me, to be honest.
Well, look, I have my suspicions. I have my suspicions, and I don't want to go into it too much. But you're right. How can a team play so many games and not get that many injuries? Okay, Goldar is injured and he might miss the game against Omoni in the Conference League tomorrow. But in terms of, hamstring injuries or muscular injuries, it's not happening. So, look, again, I have my suspicions. I don't want to go into it in too much detail. What I can say, though, is even if one player gets injured, they've got about 3 players to replace him. Their squad is so stacked, and they've got players that can play various positions. So, yeah.
Well, at one point, I want to go through the table that you brought out in the Patreon section.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that, but not now. If you want, you bring it at the end when we bring up the.
I don't know if I've still got it. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check. Hold on. You're freaking me out now. you should have told me this earlier. I would have got it. Hang about. No, I do have it. Let me just see if I can download it. 1 second. I've got it in Canva. I think that's my secret is out, guys. I use Canva for a lot of things.
You're better in using it than I am because I can't use it for the life of me. I don't know why.
Do you know what? It's easier than what it seems to, Bunis, bro. It's just that. What do you mean? Hold on. Sorry, guys. See, this is the joy of doing things live. Okay, hold on. Come on. Downloading. High speed internet, by the way. High speed. It is high speed, but it's just taking forever to download. Why? It's probably because I'm streaming. But look, again, their results have been very, very interesting compared to other clubs. Let's see. Is it done? Right. Okay. Let me get it. Let me get it on the screen. Here we go.
But you know what? Don't put it on now. Let's finish all the games and then bring it up.
Okay.
And that's it. Let's finish all the games.
Okay.
How many
Okay.
games left? One?
There's one. Yeah, there's one more. One
Yeah.
more. Okay. On to the final one then. On to the final one, where Ari were held 1-1 against Ajax. Gomis thought he gave Ari the lead, but his goal was disallowed for offside correctly, by the way. They used the lines very, very well. Aitor then gave Ajax the lead with a lovely finish outside of the boot, in off the post. Fantastic. But early in the second half, Ari came out like a wrecking ball, and they got an equalizer through Milisevic's own goal. However, controversy, as Aitor was sent off for an elbow in the box. However, I went to VAR. No penalty was given because there was an offside. I thought dangerous play. I mean, doesn't matter if it's on or off the ball. It's an elbow. It's a red card. It should be a penalty. But anyway, the referee took forever to decide. I mean, I don't know what was going on there. The Cypriot official in the VAR was telling him what to do. He was a Latvian referee, as far as I'm aware. He decided, well, this was offside, so I'm not going to give the foul, but I'm going to send him off anyway. Whatever, bit weird. Then Semedo was sent off for a second yellow. He was sent off. It was given a straight red card for this challenge on Gus Ledders, even though I think it was a 50-50, to be honest, but nothing really was made of it, in all fairness. Referee decided to go to VAR. Yep, looked like just an accidental collision. His knee caught him. It wasn't like an intentional reckless challenge. And I think because of the skid as well, the momentum just took him. And I think the yellow card was a right decision. But just to even things up, Steve Yago did what Steve Yago does best recently, and that's get sent off for a second booking, because Steve Yago likes getting sent off for a second booking. So game ended 1-1. Result doesn't benefit anyone. In fact, it damages both clubs, because Ari are now trailing Bafo. Ajax dropped down to fourth. Bit of an entertaining game, to be fair, but too many stoppages, if you ask me. Yellow cards, red cards, whatever. Thoughts on both teams, bro?
If you give a red card to to a player that stopped an opponent within the boxes, isn't that for a foul?
Well, that's what I thought. I mean, he's elbowed him in the stomach.
And he got a red card for it, yeah?
He got a red card. But the referee said no penalty. Well, he said no penalty because there was an offside. But it doesn't matter. In fact, even VAR, the officials...
The red card preceded the offside. The offside was done after the red card.
Well, okay. So the elbow happened as the ball went in the box. So he was offside. There was an offside decision. It was an offside. But the argument is, it's an off the ball incident. So even if the referee is blown to stop the game, the incident has occurred. It's what's it called?
It's a card. It's a foul. It's in the box. It's a penalty.
I'm trying to think of the terminology that they use. It's a dangerous play. He's elbowed the guy in the stomach. And even when they did the VAR analysis yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, they said it should have been a penalty. They got it wrong. But the funny thing is, the referee is a foreign referee. The VAR official that was doing the cameras was Cypriot. So, I'm guessing they're talking in English. Do they not know the rules? Do they not know the rules? Those are the rules. It's an elbow in the box, on or off the ball.
Do we know who doesn't know the rules of the two?
The referees.
Yeah, but which referee? Which referee?
Well, it looks like everyone at the moment. It looks like everyone. Because that referee didn't even point to the spot.
No, he didn't.
It's just weird. It's a weird decision.
I'm going to repeat. I'm going to give my opinion about this.
Go on.
A red card in the box for a foul means it's a penalty. It doesn't matter where, when, or how.
100%. 100%. I find it incredible.
Those fuzzies, it doesn't matter if it's on or off the play. A foul in the area is a foul that turns into a penalty.
But Petros, see, this is the thing, right? You could like, okay, so you know, with like the handball decision, sometimes you could say that it's, sometimes you can give them, sometimes you can't. Like, those ones are like debatable.
Okay,
But
yeah.
this is clear as day. This is clear as day.
Oh
Like
man.
it's just weird. It's just absolutely weird. And like even when I'm reading the explanations, right? They go after a cross into the penalty area, defender elbowed his a forward elbowed his opponent, or is it defender because he was defending it at the time? He elbowed his opponent. Immediately afterwards, an attacker who's in an offside position headed the ball towards goal. The VAR correctly recommended the review of the phase for violent conduct within the penalty area and showed the referee all the relevant phases. Afterwards, the referee punished the defending player with a red card and decided to restart the game with an indirect free kick for offside. The disciplinary decision, red card, was correct. However, according to the laws of the game, the match should have been restarted with a penalty as violent conduct preceded the offside offence. So according to the laws, they got it wrong. And that's
Finally,
the whole point.
the referee committee said something right, man.
But bro, this is the thing. The whole point of VAR, having a VAR official, is to advise the official on the pitch to say, right, you got it wrong here, mate. At least he could have Googled it saying, well, what are the rules if an elbow occurs in the box? It's there. Flipping. And I don't even support Ari. I'm like, what is this?
This is Cyprus, right?
This is Cyprus.
This is Cyprus.
Flipping out. Anyway, let's go to the league tables. Let's go to the league table. Sorry,
Yeah.
singular. And when it appears, here we go. Do you want to read it out, or shall I do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
You do. I've got a lot of reading coming up. Don't worry.
Yeah. We got Petros on the top spot with 46 points. Second is Aris with 41 points, and then trailing, gaining a position on the third is Omonia with. Wait a minute. Sorry.
What?
I made a boo boo. Sorry. Let's take it again from the beginning. You see now, Thassos is going to call me an amateur. I gave him an excuse now. Shit. So Petros at first place with 55 points. Aris trading in the second position with 49 points. Omonia went up to one spot to the third place with 45 points. And Ajax dropped in the fourth place with the same 45 points, but Omonia having the advantage, winning the game with each other, between each other. Arbol is on the fifth place with 37 points, and they see even the possibility of the third place for Europe drifting more and more away. Apollon at 6 with 35, together the same with 35. Isanostos is at 7th position. Ethnikos Achnas at 24, and there you see the difference from the 7th position going down. It's already split. AL on the 9th position with 21 points, the same as Karniodisa in the 10th position with 21 points.
Same wins, same draws, same losses as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Omonia Radipo with 19 points at 11th place, the first relegation place. Paralimni at 12 with 18 points. And Nea Salamina 13 with 13 points. Last but not least, 2 Omonia, 2 Furious with 10 points in the last position.
Ouchies.
Yeah.
So let's bring up those statistics that you mentioned. These are from No Choftes, which I brought up the other day. Here you go, bro. Comparison of the points since Yanni took over at Omonia. Go on.
Yes. And basically, the reason I told Stel that it would be nice to talk about this chart in general is since we have this small separation of the first 4 teams in the league and how their games have been going for quite a sufficient amount of time now. So these are basically since this chart
I think I've made a mistake actually. I think Buffalo got 27 points. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Yes, 27. My bad. My bad.
Okay, 27. No problem. So basically, this chart represents from the time that Yannis stepped up as a provisional coach for Omonia, and the points that have been gathered since he's been in that position, in accordance to the other three teams that complete the top four.
Yeah.
And we can see basically that Paphos is the only one that stayed in a stable lead of the table with
Yep.
gaining 27 points. And then Omonia basically creeped up to 24 winning points, which are the same with AEK, and one more point than Aris, which is at 23 points. Now, we're saying that all this is from the moment that Mr. Yannis took over the coaching position, not coaching position, the temporary coaching position for Omonia. I made a mistake still. I said Omonia had 24 points, but it's 23.
It's 23, yeah.
Okay.
3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to calculate again, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So let's take it for what we see. So seems like the four top teams are quite competitive, very difficult to lose points. And so when the playoffs begin, that is when the real trouble is going to be. That will show who is the mightiest of the mighty.
Yeah.
Because all of them are in close reach of each other. All four teams seem not to be willing to give away points, either with strong teams or less strong teams, which will make an interesting third round, an interesting playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, Buffalo have got their remaining games. They've got Apollon in the league. They've got Omonia, Apoel, and Ethnigo.
Yes.
Those are the next games, which are going to be very, very interesting. Let's look at AEK's fixtures. Let's have a look about AEK, Larnaca. See, I should have planned it ahead. Really should have done, but I didn't anticipate us having this conversation. Right, they've got Paralimni, Omonia 29, Karmiotissa, and Omonia Aradipu.
They've got the easiest schedule, I think.
It's quite favourable. It's quite favourable. And again, listen, that's just how it is. Omonia have got favourable fixtures at the moment. So let's not talk about it being a different, Ari have got Anorthosi, Apoel, Ael, and Paralimni. 2 tricky
50-50.
ones. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And Omonia, who have we got? Omonia, we have Omonia Aradipu, Apollon, and Apoel.
Yeah.
So again, you can only beat what's in front of you.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, let's move on. We've done almost an hour. Okay. Let's fire through this because this is where it gets a bit interesting. So, first story. Now, according to sources, the Limassol Gymnastics Club has filed a lawsuit against the city's clubs, aiming to force them to vacate the training fields as soon as possible. Now, the GSO argues that the land belongs to them and that the teams have been illegally using the facility since leaving the Tsirio. Now, on the other hand, it's widely known that the clubs have secured their usage rights through a trust established by 1970s benefactor Petros Tsirios. There you go, or Tsiros, sorry. The trust stipulates that teams may use the land as long as they play at the Tsirio Stadium, not necessarily limited to the men's teams. The matter will be resolved in courts, with the GSO already requesting a prohibition order to be reviewed on March the 4th. Representatives from the clubs and the companies managing Apollon and Ari will attend the hearings to present their arguments. So, you've gone from the stadium, you cannot use our facilities. But Mr. Tsiro said you can. So
I think it's more of a matter that someone doesn't feel a few euros going in his pockets. It's as simple as that.
Very true. Very, very, very true. But to be honest, let's get it right. Are there not more football facilities in Limassol?
Well, Apollon, I know that they have the training ground in Colossi.
Mm.
So I don't know if they're using the Tsirio so much, because Apollon has their own training camp. So how could they be using it?
I
Aris,
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know
Bloody
where
do.
Aris is
Bloody do.
training.
And Ari
Aris
and I do.
training Chiros
Yeah.
in Sirio.
Yeah.
From what I know, Isle has a training ground that is next to Sirio Stadium. Is not the stadium
But
itself.
I think the facilities are part because it's all within the same. It must be the same Gobedo. I don't know. It must be the
Yeah,
same.
it's
thing.
right outside the stadium. It's right outside the stadium.
Yeah.
There's another training ground outside the Sirio Stadium.
Yeah. So watch this space. That could get blown out of proportion as it normally does.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, speaking of blowing things out of proportion, this is going to be a lovely one. It's going to be a long one. So let's go to February the 6th, the day after we recorded, or should I say went live last week, and refereeing committee head Domenico Messina met with Cypriot club presidents to address criticism and explain his approach to referee management. He discussed selection criteria for foreign referees and acknowledged that while mistakes happen, training aims to minimize them. A new VAR innovation, goal line cameras, was introduced and will be implemented in the second league phase, which is obviously when the league split. Now, Guma, our good friend, emphasized that league outcomes should be determined on the field, not by refereeing decisions. Additionally, clubs and the CFA opposed a police recommendation to ban away fans from the upcoming derbies, which took place at the weekend. So first of all, Petros, let's get your thoughts on the goal line technology before we go into the next one, because it's going to get a little bit messy from now.
Okay. Cyprus is a very innovative country. So they're basically gonna stick a camera, normal TV camera, on the goal line.
Oh.
That's what they're
I
gonna be
thought they're
doing.
going to use Hawkeye. They're not going to be using Hawkeye?
No, man. It's gonna be a camera on the line so that they can catch if a ball passes.
Wonderful.
No Hawkeye, no Dragon Eye, no Pikachu
Golden
Eye,
Eye,
no Golden Eye, no From Russia with Love Eye, no
Third Eye,
Moonstar Eye, no Starlink Eye, no nothing.
no Jap's Eye. Yeah.
No. It's going to be a camera on the line, on the straight line, so that they can figure out if a ball passed the post or not. Cyprus ingenuity.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got that one out in the open. So
yeah.
Okay.
That's for the Hawkeye Star Eye Eagle Eye thingy.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's move over to February the 11th. And this gentleman right here, he's the General Director of the Greek Sports Council, Phivos Kostandinidis, and he spoke to Sport FM with regards to cameras in the Gazibi. We're talking CCTV cameras. And he said, first of all, I would like to say that the problem with the cameras has been known since the beginning of this period. It was known that the GIS system is older than all the other systems that were installed. We've been requesting an upgrade of the system since May 2023. No replacement, because the upgrade saves the state 400,000 euros. What we are asking for costs around 250,000 euros, while the replacement is over 500,000. Now, he was asked if it's true that 20 cameras are not working. He said, yes, it's true. Out of 120, 100 cameras are working. In my opinion, the problem is not that big. We took some actions based on our own capabilities. We also installed new fixed cameras, which we found in Cyprus. Now, on why they've only just noticed there's a problem, he said it's an existing issue. There's no question of revoking the safety certificate. As long as there is an operating license, there is no issue. The licensing authority says it cannot revoke the security certificate for this reason. Additionally, he said Omone and Abuel owe the Hasibi the same amount, and it exceeds 500,000, close to 250,000 each. It is difficult, as you can imagine. It is the fact that we do not have a subsidy compared to other stadiums, which I do not consider fair. Okay, let's talk about this one very briefly, Pedro.
I've got quite a few things to say about this one.
Okay, fire away, my friend. I'm all ears.
First of all, I cannot understand for the life of me how can they say that the system doesn't need improvement when they're using cameras that are used only to record Minecraft, because all you see is blocks.
Okay.
You didn't expect that,
Okay.
did you?
No. Hey, listen, pixelated camera systems are the way forward, bro. It's
Yeah,
the way
man.
forward.
Yeah, we're not in the age of OLED screens and the cameras that can view you from. Even my mobile phone has a better camera from the CCTV system that they have in the stadium that is supposed to be state of the art.
They're using a 1.3
For God's
megapixel
sakes.
camera. That's their system. 1.3
Oh my God.
megapixels.
I know what they did.
VGA cameras.
I know what they did. They got out their old flip phones, with that they had the cameras on. They
Yeah.
took out the cameras, put it in a square box that is like a shoe box, and they said, "There you go. That's
These
your
are the
camera."
cameras.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Anyway, yeah,
20
the
cameras. 20 cameras not working out of 120.
30. It went up to 30. I heard the police report today. The official line is
Oh.
that they have informed UEFA that 30 cameras are not working in the stadium.
What
And
we're going. You're going a bit ahead.
okay.
Going a bit ahead.
So
Going a bit
yeah,
ahead.
the police came out and said that it's not just the 30 cameras, but also one of the servers of the stadium is not functioning. This one of the servers that takes all these recordings from the Minecraft cameras
Okay.
that they're not functioning.
Well, let's go over to that one then. Since you ran ahead, that's fine. That's fine. Since you ran ahead, let's go. So
But I had more
yes,
to say.
okay.
Oh,
Well,
I
let
was
me go
think-
through.
oh,
Let me go through this first. So
Okay.
today, was it today? Or was it yesterday? It must have been yesterday. Concerns arose over this. Yeah, it was yesterday. Concerns arose over the security of the Conference League playoff match between Omonia and Baffa, the Ghazibi, which is occurring on Thursday. Now, police stated they could not guarantee safety due to malfunctioning security systems, including, as Petros said, 30 non-functional cameras and a broken server, as you said. They refused to provide security for the match, leaving UEFA to decide its fate. Now, the dispute sparked a lot of controversy, with some suggesting police actions were retaliation for the CFA's refusal to ban away fans at previous matches. Now, moving over to today, police clarified that they did not refuse to oversee the match despite earlier concerns. The sports organisation Goa committed to funding the Ghazibi Stadium's CCTV upgrades, launching a tender process. Now, the president of Goa, Yannis Ioannou, urged collaboration and confirmed broader plans for stadium upgrades across Cyprus. He reassured that solutions should not restrict fan movement and expressed optimism for upcoming matches. Now, here's where it gets a little bit more interesting and kind of subsides. That's our guy that was talking about it, Mr. Ioannou. And, oh, that's the wrong one that I showed. Anyway, let me just take this out for a second. Now, today, or should I say this evening, Guma, our friend Guma, who is also a UEFA Executive Committee member, met with UEFA officials. I think his name is Milan Jankovic. He's a match observer, and Ivan Vea, who's a venue director, whoever that is, to discuss the security concerns regarding the Omonia Buffalo game, because we thought, well, there's a chance that it might get cancelled or whatever. But Guma assured them that the CFA and UEFA are committed to ensuring a smooth and safe match, like there's ever been any problems between Omonia against Buffalo. Let's get that right. And he urged cooperation between UEFA, stadium authorities, police, and clubs to resolve any issues. Now, UEFA was actually briefed on the CFA's previous actions regarding similar security concerns at the Ghazibi, and the final decisions on the match organisation will be made tomorrow. But we know it's going to go ahead, right?
Let me rephrase that a little bit. Yeah, basically what happened is that the police sent an official report to UEFA mentioning all these things, that there are 30 cameras that are not working and one of the servers is not working. So basically, there is no availability of certificate of what do you call that, man?
Certificate of safety?
Yeah, certificate of safety to these 30 cameras working and the server not working. So it was up to UEFA to decide. They left it up to UEFA to decide if the game will be played if the police did not have this certificate. Now, what happened after that? The police came out and also said that despite the fact that the 30 cameras are not working and the server is not working and we don't have the certificate, we are still making preparations for the game to undergo normal play, and that there's a scheduled already plan of about the arrival of fans and from where they're going to be leaving and things like that. The usual strategic placement of the Cyprus police. Now, from what I have heard through the radio, I didn't read it from somewhere, so don't quote me on this, is what I heard from the news reporters, is that UEFA contacted Gazibi, asked them, is there going to be a problem? Gazibi, of course, replied, no. And UEFA said, fine, play the game.
Well, here's the thing, Pedro. Like, as far as I'm aware, like, if you think about it, the police suddenly raised their concerns about this malfunctioning surveillance camera just a couple of days before the game, right?
Yeah.
Now, they've known that there's been a problem since when? June?
Before the season started. Before the
Yeah?
season started, yeah.
Now, they issued a deadline in January, but they still allowed 40 games to take place at that stadium without any intervention from them, right? They didn't recognize the Gazibi's security certificate, but yet they were still happy to oversee these games, right?
Basically, the thing that the police representative said is that yes, we did handle the previous games that took place, but it doesn't mean that it was right to do so.
Yeah,
we did. Like, it's like basically they're saying, "Oh, we did it out of the goodness of our hearts." Because we wanted fans to go to the football games and kill each other.
It's the whole thing is mad.
The second thing that the police representative said is that they have informed Gazibi not 2 days ago, but that they have a written letter towards Gazibi dating back to the 23rd of January, informing them that you're going to be having European games in 2 weeks' time, and these things are still not functioning. And you should take measures in order to prevent anything from happening and help us with our job. Now, the other question that comes out is that because it's a European game, the responsible party is UEFA. It's not Goa, it's not GOP, it's not Gazibi. Because right now, if something happens, Cyprus police is liable towards UEFA, not GOP or Gazibi. Yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing, right? Omonia have played Legia Warsaw, Rapid Vienna in Europe. Two teams that are, okay, I'd say Legia Warsaw, their fans are a little bit naughty. Okay, and we had some problems with them getting into the stadium when they shouldn't have been there, right?
Yeah.
Abuel have played Fiorentina. That's a big game.
They had a ban of fans coming to Cyprus.
Right. They've played. I don't even know. I can't even count how many games, European games, have we played at the Gazibi this season. How come all of a sudden Omonia against Buffer? And let's get it right. Buffer are not one of the biggest clubs in Cyprus when it comes to a fan base. They might take 1,000, might take 1,500. I don't know how many tickets that they've got, right? But it's not really that much of a big of a deal. I just find it so convenient that, you know, the Gazibi director requested funding, or he revealed that they requested funding for CCTV. He's requested funding for CCTV since May 2023, but didn't get a response. And the moment Yanis Ioannou, the Goa president, goes to the Abuel game against Apollon, all of a sudden it's like, we need to sort it out. Here's the funding. Like within 48 hours.
Yeah.
It took him less than 48 hours.
Yeah. And he's not not there every game.
It's mad. And you know what? Credit to Zavor, the journalist on 24 Sport, because he asked two very poignant questions. He asked the first one, well, why wasn't the stadium security system upgraded years ago when the fan card, when the Gata Philatelu was introduced? And why is the government planning a new security card system without consulting the stadium officials or club administrators?
this is Cyprus.
But okay, sometimes you got to sit back and say, well, logic needs to defy the stupidity.
The logic thing in Cyprus is to be stupid.
Flipping hell. It's all mad. It's all mad. Anyway, I'm pretty certain that this is going to ramble on and on and on and on and on.
Of course.
So,
and I'm sure that they're still going to be enjoying their Minecraft cameras to the ages to come.
For sure. For sure. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Right. Interesting news. I showed you guys this earlier, but Marino Johnny, Cyprus international, former Omonia winger, he's joined Romanian side UTA Arad. Now, Johnny's made his debut at Omonia at age 17 and played a pivotal role in the 2021 title victory. Now, he moved to MLS side Sporting Kansas in January 2022, but he didn't really make the impact that many of us expected. Now, last summer, he moved to Kucharici in Serbia, making 15 appearances and grabbing 2 assists. But now he's joined the mid-table Romanian side. And for me, I'm quite sad about this. Not because I'm denigrating this Romanian side. Obviously, we got a head coach in Romania doing pretty well. Our guy, Ilias. But this is our guy. Like this guy is one of the best Cypriot players. Undoubtedly. And his career has taken such a nosedive there, Pedro.
Yeah, big time, man. It's a big shame. You know what? In retrospective, still, I guess the MLS was a wrong move.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I think he would have been better off going maybe to a second division team somewhere in Europe and moving on from there. I guess the MLS was I cannot say that the MLS was a high margin for him, to be honest, but he wasn't being played there. And, you know, the MLS is a little bit funny. They have, I don't know, how many squads do they have per one team? I don't think they only have 24 players.
They've got a first team and a B team, which plays in the USL.
Yeah, and then they got the different stupid cups, whatever they call them, and they use another team for that. And, you know, I think the MLS was a bad move for Johnny's, to be honest. He wasn't used wisely. Anyway, I was hoping that he will be able to grab that experience and maybe move to a first division team in Europe, but obviously that wasn't the case. And like I always say, still, in my opinion, if you don't get playing time, you're gonna be forgotten sooner or later. He didn't get a lot of playing time in America. He came then to Serbia, but I don't know. You said 15 appearances.
Yeah, this season,
15 appearances, but as a starting player or as a sub?
Not sure. It could be. Most of it was probably subs, to be honest.
Exactly. Most possibilities that he was a sub. And now in this team that he went to Romania, he's on loan. They didn't buy him. So basically he went on loan to a team that is in the 11th place in Romania. I believe that in the summer, Johnny's will be returning to Cyprus. That's what I think.
Well, I was going to say, it would not surprise me if he comes back to Omonia and Loizo goes, or Semedo, because we know that there's a Turkish team that is hot on Semedo, and Johnny coming back to Omonia, I think that would be a great move.
There are many ifs, buts, and maybes about Omonia players. It's not just Loizo and Semedo. You don't know if they're going to be booking Alium.
But who gave Johnny's his debut?
Yannis did. The current coach.
Yeah, and if he comes back, my God, I'll be so happy.
What? You know what I want? I hope Johnny's comes back to Cyprus. I hope he comes to Omonia, and in 2 years he leaves from Omonia to go to a European club.
He's still young, man.
That's what I'm saying. Because he's still young. I want him to come to Cyprus and pick up from where he left off.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, look, there's one thing that we didn't mention relating to the Omonia Buffalo game. something bit weird, or should I say culturally insensitive or reckless or just ignorant, or
Okay.
perhaps they just didn't get what was going on. UEFA's official Conference League Instagram account put up this image and then they deleted it. Just let's play a game, we'll spot the difference. So this is what they put up. Omonia against Buffalo, build up to the Conference League game. Those of you that are listening, obviously you can't see this. Those of you watching, anyone want to hazard a guess what the problem is with this image? Anyone?
I do.
Anyone watching? Let's leave it to the viewers. We've got about 17
Yeah,
people watching live at the moment. Anyone want to guess where the problem is? Andrea has put in Droby, which is rude. Yeah. But let's delve into this a little bit deeper. Anyone else want to hazard a guess where the problem lies with this particular image? I mean, it's not a problem per se.
Yeah.
It's not a problem per se, but
It's
if you understand
mishandling.
if you understand the context behind this image. Well, look, for the benefit of those listening, this is an image of Nicosia, but it's the occupied.
It's the North
region.
occupied area.
Yes, and you can probably see a little Turkish flag in the background as well. There you go. So they've taken a photograph of Nicosia, but it's the other side of Nicosia, which, yeah, is quite insensitive, and especially if you're not educated on the history of Cyprus, it can be quite offensive. Although some people said to me, "Well, what's the big deal? I mean, it's still Cyprus." But let's read the room a little bit here, and they quickly deleted it after receiving hundreds of messages, and I don't know if they've put another one up, but whatever.
They have, but it's not doesn't really have a photo or anything. Just a black frame and.
Yes.
You want a hint? You want a hint?
Go on.
They probably put some poor guy there in UEFA, and they told him, you know what? Do a collage of the Omonia against Paphos playing in Nicosia game. Okay? And he goes, yeah, sure. And he goes, types in Google, Nicosia images. That is the second image that you get.
Oh, for crying out loud. Oh my God.
That is the second image that you get.
I'm looking at their posts and they haven't put another one up.
Yeah.
So they thought, nope, not going to happen. Which is a shame, really, because it's the first ever time two Cypriot teams have faced each other in European competition.
Take the eagle view of Gatsi B photo and put it on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yes, well. If you type in Google Nicosia, that is the second image that Google will give you.
I did not know that.
Not the first, the second.
Did not know that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Right. Let's move on to another little segment that we like doing, is what I like to call Pass Corner. Our friends at Pass doing some fantastic things for players in Cyprus, not just Cypriot players, but also foreign players. And a story broke a few days ago, and it's regarding a player in Cyprus called Elias Chrysostomou. He faced financial and legal issues after joining Doxa Paliomedochou. I hope I've said that right. Now, despite an initial agreement for a €950 monthly salary, the club only presented the contract for €150, promising a second contract for the remaining amount, one that never materialized. Now, as the club struggled in performance, the president hinted at financial consequences. After a month without his full salary and unanswered calls, the player stopped attending training to seek another income source and a new team in January. However, Doxa filed a complaint with the Cyprus FA, preventing the transfer. Chrysostomou believes the club acted out of spite due to interest from other teams and now faces uncertainty, unable to support his family. Now, here's a little update, Pedro. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but another player, his teammate, believe it or not, who wished to remain anonymous, shared his experience after being subjected to an unfair contract. Surprise, surprise. Despite initially agreeing on a salary of €450, he was asked to sign a contract for just €150. He was told that all players in the team signed contracts for €150, regardless of their actual agreed salary. Bit fishy, isn't it? Later, tensions arose within the team, including verbal insults from the president during matches. The player was eventually told by the coach that he was no longer part of the team and should leave. He was also told he was not going to be paid for 2 months. And when he requested the owed wages, his management refused to respond. This sounds like a running theme, doesn't it? Now, despite his situation, the club threatened him with a complaint for not attending training, even though they hadn't been paying him. Now, fortunately, after receiving legal advice from PASP, the club didn't proceed with the complaint, as the player had evidence of the team's message confirming his removal. He concluded by suggesting that the third division could consider amateur status for players, given the unrealistic professional wages in small clubs. Wah, wah, wee, wah.
The glory of lower Cyprus divisions. The glory. All the glory is there, man. I'm telling you.
Yep.
The lower divisions get all the glory.
Razzmatazz, mate. Razzmatazz. Well, there was another story I didn't mention. It was on Gostesera Sport that in a non-league game, it was in Buffer, and there was a 26-year-old player assaulted by 2 opponents, and he went to hospital. Non-league game, like non-league.
Lower Cyprus divisions, all the glory.
Happy days. Happy days.
Yeah, you're either gonna have a chair being thrown at you, rubbish bin,
or all sorts of shit.
I don't know,
All
some
sorts of shit.
seal up from the stands or whatever.
Standard.
The occasional stone.
Standard.
Flare.
Well, Pedro, as you know, these things lead to consequences, and there's only one place to go for this.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. Spin the wheel now.
Yes, it's Vrionides time, and today he's been very, very, very. What have you got there?
I'm spinning the wheel.
Oh, he's spinning the wheel. He's spinning the wheel. He's spinning the wheel. Okay. Mr. Vrionides has been very, very busy today. Very busy. So when he's busy, we're busy. So I'm going to break these down as quick as I possibly can. We've done an hour and a half. Pedro, I've had my coffee. I'm buzzing. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Right. So Omonia faced IL in the cup a couple of weeks ago, and they've both received fines for various reasons. Now, these fines include supporters displaying banners that are unsuitable for sporting events, selling and consuming alcohol in the stadium, using lasers, and IL were also fined because a fan set an Omonia scarf on fire in the 26th minute, although I didn't hear anything about that happening. I don't know if you saw it or...
Man, they punished them for that?
Yes. But it was inside the stadium, so there you go.
They punished them for that?
They got a fine, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, it's a typical thing, to be honest. This is something that I've been seeing since I was going to stadiums at the age of 12 happening.
Okay.
Between rival teams.
Okay.
Omonia fans burning Aboal scarves, Aboal fans burning Omonia scarves. It's been going on through eternity. It's nothing new. He's dumb at the end of the day. I don't know why they do it, but
they do it.
He's not...
Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever.
It's tired.
There we go. Right. Now, another game occurred that week, and I'm pretty certain you remember the flashing light penalty thing.
No, never. No, I couldn't.
You know,
I couldn't remember.
When Jaja was stepping up, there's this big industrial light just flashing like it's some kind of nightclub. Well,
I can't remember because I got epilepsy from that.
Okay.
So
careful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, just to let you know, Aboal were fined for that massive flashing light thingy. Used during, but the thing is, Vrionides classed it as using lasers. There you go.
So a light bulb that, I don't know, illuminates, that's a figure out something like 30,000 lumens in front of you, in your eyes, while you're kicking a penalty. It's a laser.
Yeah, like some aliens were in outer space and they're looking down and they can see Left Garcia and they see this flashing light. They go, oh, they're lying.
Landing area.
That's it. Well, Aboal were also fined because fans were throwing objects onto the pitch. There you go.
Okay.
They got a fine for that.
Okay.
It gets more interesting, I promise. It gets more interesting. So I'm going to move on to the Apollon Anorthosis cup game. Okay. So Anorthosis were issued fines and a 1-match ban for away supporters because their fans took fireworks and flares into the stadium. They were using lasers and they were throwing objects onto the pitch. Now, Apollon received fines and a 1-game stadium ban for exactly the same thing. So they got banned 1 game behind closed doors because their fans were doing the exact same thing. Okay, fine.
And guess which team is that game?
AEL?
The Apollon.
Apollon, yeah. Who's it? Ammonia.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
Next game. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so now remember last week's bullshit surrounding AEK and AEL? Remember that with the fans?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
AEK have been fined due to incidents caused by fans at full time when they threw stones at police in the East Stand car park because the police had to use tear gas. And AEL also received a fine for that naval flare being thrown at a policeman. Just fine. Oh. They didn't just receive fines. AEK must play 1 game behind closed doors and AEL get a 2-game away fan ban. So at this rate, they're not going to be able to go to any more games.
So basically, AEL won't have fans for the next, 5-6 games?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. Looks like it.
Man, it's really getting out of hand. I mean, when are they... come on. This should have been minimization of points. How many times?
Well, you know that if they deduct them points, then they're going to slip down the table.
It doesn't matter still. It doesn't matter.
Well, perhaps they're too scared.
How are you going to give the example?
Look,
and I'm not just saying it because it's AEL. I'm saying it towards any team. How are they going to give the example on what to avoid?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think that any AEL fan really cares anymore?
No, of course not.
Of course not.
No.
From my point of view, they're just going to be going to the games, to every single game, to cause problems in every single game. They don't care about the game anymore.
Well, this is the thing, right? I think the CFA are a little bit too scared to deduct them points because they know that AEL fans can be a little bit loud or busy.
So,
I think that by doing that, it's going to have a knock-on effect. They deduct them points. The fans riot, which is what they do very, very well, in all fairness.
Right anyway.
Yeah. And then the police will step in, and then ultimately it's going to be, well, let's just do a ban altogether. No fans in stadiums for any club. Like COVID. That's my personal opinion. Yeah.
I have anyway. I've put my mind out about this, but I've got something about this here.
Okay. What's it? Aliens. They're coming down. They're coming down, bro.
Wait a minute. Why?
Why what? Why what?
You don't hear anything?
I can't hear anything, bro.
You can't. No.
Can I carry on? Because there's loads.
Yeah, go on.
There's loads. Okay, right. So now we're going to move over to the league because Anorthosis played double well the other week. They both received fines for, you guessed it, flares, fireworks, and banners unsuitable for stadiums. Now, they also received fines due to a little scuffle between the players and staff in the tunnel at full time.
Ooh, you know this? Juicy stuff. Yeah.
So Manolo Jimenez, he received a fine for unsportsmanlike conduct against the referee. But his assistant, Sebastian Bascon, was fined and received a 1-game touchline ban for verbally abusing the official and pushing a member of Anorthosis staff. Remember, didn't Sapinto do that last year and he got like a 6-month ban?
Yeah.
But then again, he did tell someone about their mum as well after the game. But anyway, that's done. Now, here's what's interesting. Our club received a fine because of the statement that they issued on the 3rd of February
Watching you.
Yeah, you remember that when they published this article about the media and the club's
Yeah.
referral to the sports judge? Yeah, well, apparently, get this. It undermined or discredited the referee, a specific referee, or the dignity and personality of a referee, or refers to an upcoming match official's appointment, or criticizes past match officiating decisions, or calls on the refereeing committee and or director to take specific actions regarding refereeing. That's the first one. B.
Bloody terrorists.
Yeah, it undermines or discredits the dignity, personality, and or status of any individual involved in football, officials, members of clubs, or CFA board members or supporters, or of any team participating in the championship. What is this woke bollocks? I'm sorry.
Basically,
C.
Kuma the Hut.
Exactly. C. It's outside of the framework of sportsmanship and fair play and or may foster distrust in football and its officials, encourage unsportsmanlike actions, ridicule the sport or involve individuals involved in it, or contain sarcasm towards the sport and those involved. I'm sorry, lip reading a referee and saying that, well, he gave this decision here, but didn't give us this decision. I mean, that's sarcasm. What can I tell you? They got a fine. They got a fine. Now,
Do you check your mail?
what mail?
Do you check your mail? Maybe you got a fine also and you don't know it. Check your spam.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Well, I'll send him Yam Fao Sangubes, he'll be all right. Anyway, now, our friend Gigi, you know the guy last week that was calling Messina Chengeni?
Yeah. What did he get?
Well, he got a fine. And the reasons are, A, he undermined or discredited the referee, a specific referee, or the dignity or the personality of the referee. This is similar to the Omonia ones. In fact, identical, to be fair. Identical.
Wait a minute. He didn't talk about the referee.
Well, those were the reasons. Those were the reasons. They all fell into that category. So even though he was
the head of the referee committee is considered as a referee.
Well, because it falls under that category, because he's an official and he represents the referees. So he undermined or discredited his dignity, his personality. It fell outside the framework of sportsmanship. So, okay, fine, whatever. But
I'm sure Messina was in the corner crying. Yeah,
I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
Now I've got 3 more very quick ones. This is where it gets a little bit more entertaining. So, Nea Salamina, Apoel, under 19s. Yeah?
Oh, okay. Juicy stuff.
Right. Nea Salamina, Andreas Andreu, he was sent off when the assistant referee tried to calm him down. He was angry about something, and the assistant referee was trying to calm him down. He was then sent off, and he hit the official on the arm. So he's been suspended until the 1st of August.
What kind of hit was that? Like, did he have the hand of the Hulk? Did the guy fly out of the stadium?
Superman punch? I don't know. I don't know. But he hit the referee on the arm, and he's been suspended until the 1st of August, 2025.
Was it the kind of hit that you go, oh?
Could be, like the Sarfor one the other day, which I didn't show, by the way.
Shame on you. Shame on you. You're protecting Thassos.
I need to be balanced. Here. Okay, now, the next one. Girona. They got a player called Andreas Daniel. He received a fine for unsportsmanlike conduct towards a teammate after the match. Apparently, he attempted to approach his teammate with the intent to hit him, causing a disturbance in the team's locker room. There you go. Girona, it's all going off there.
Discipline,
in everything.
Discipline.
Yeah. Wants to beat up his teammate. Yeah. You know? I don't know. Now, here's the best one. Olympiaco women versus AEK women under 18s. This is the best one. So, the Olympiaco coach, Ioannis Asparagi, and his assistants, Rafaela Andreu and Alexandra Dumazu, have been fined and suspended for 1 game after being sent off for violent behavior against the match officials. Now,
so the girls beat up the match officials.
The head coach and the 2 female assistants beat up the match officials, apparently.
Okay.
Violent behavior. But also, here's where it gets even more interesting. Ajax Christos Kondozis also received a one-game touchline ban for the same reasons. So
basically, two teams ganged up on the match officials.
Yes.
So the girls from both teams said, "Fuck you, officials! We're beating you up."
Two girls from one team.
Yeah,
The
but you
head
said also
coach-
from the other team.
No, so you got three members of staff from Olympiago women, two of them
Yes.
were women,
Yeah.
and one head coach, the male of Ajax.
Only head coach. Okay.
It was 4 on officials. It was 4. But they weren't fighting each other. They were fighting the officials. They teamed up. They teamed up, bro.
Imagine what kind of a ref that was.
Yeah. So they all got a 1-game ban and a fine. What? So can you imagine the lad that slapped the referee on the arm is suspended until August?
Oh.
But the 4 coaches, it's just 1 game. It's just 1 game for beating up the referees.
Because the girls don't eat hard enough.
Oh, careful.
That's
You have
the
the woke brigade
mentality
coming
that
after
they're
you.
gonna say. That's the mentality behind the decision, right?
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad. Under 19s, you get suspended for how many months? But when it comes to the under 18 women's, it's okay. You just get 1 game. You just 1 game. 1 game. Unbelievable, Jeff. Gotta love it though. You love to see it.
Yeah.
You love to see it. Anyway, that's it for Frionidis Watch.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. Spin the wheel now.
Well, that's it, boys and girls. We've done 1 hour and 41 minutes. Pedro, thank you for stepping in, saving the day, putting your Superman cape on. Really appreciate it, my guy.
You're welcome, man. I'm a combination of Superman, Batman, and all the Justice League together.
Okay, we can handle that. There's one
You hear
more
that,
thing.
Thassos?
See, putting Thassos on the shelf now.
I had
Put him
to.
on the shelf.
I had to.
There we
I
go.
had to.
There's a question here from Yanni. Predictions for tomorrow.
I got one
What about
prediction.
Jengeni? We've done that. We've done that
Prima
one.
no Gengeni se fa un prossimo.
We did that.
Yeah.
Gulli must have gone to the toilet.
Most
toilet.
probably. Because he was here before. He was in the comments before.
He was,
so...
yeah. Maybe he just dipped out. So yeah, predictions for tomorrow. So let's go with the Abor game as well. Let's go Abor Celia.
I'm gonna make a general prediction.
Okay.
I generally predict that a Cypriot team is gonna be in the final 16.
Oh, boring. That's rubbish. I'm not having that.
That's it. Okay. Let's make a prediction. Well, still tomorrow is the first game, so I've got no idea about these Jelio team, whatever they are. I've got no idea about them.
Their head coach is Albert Riera. He used to play for Liverpool. He was the winger. I think his brother played for AEL Sito.
Okay, Sito is his brother.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't say anything about the team, though.
No, well, they're 5th in the table at the moment. I think they're 8 points behind top spot, but they've got a few Spanish players, got a few Brazilians, got a couple of Swedes, a Frenchman. They're stacked with foreign players, but okay.
How's the weather like over there? I think it's cold now, yeah?
It's cold in Cyprus as well.
Yeah, but I think there it's going to be because
it's -1 at the moment. Right now, it's -1, but they're an hour ahead of the UK.
An hour ahead. Yeah, the game is going to be at 5 in the afternoon, Cyprus time. So yeah, the temperature is not going to be that low, definitely.
Yeah, but about 3 degrees, 2 or 3 degrees, raining. Apparently,
2 or 3 degrees and raining. I think it's going to be a tough match, man. I think it's going to be tough for Abel. I predict it's going to be tough for Abel.
Well, I think they'll be happy with a draw and bring it back to Lefkosia.
Definitely.
But knowing them, knowing them, they might come away with a 1-0. They've got it in them. They've got it in them. And this is the thing, regardless of how much we dislike them as Omonia fans, like in Europe, they always find a way somehow when they need to. Always find it, especially when their back's against the wall.
Yeah.
So, you know. Anyway, as for the next one.
Why do you have to put me through this? I don't want to make a prediction about the Omonia Buffalo game, man. Oh my god.
Why? I think you should.
I think it's either going to be a draw
Okay.
or a 1-goal win.
Okay. Do you think it makes a difference the second leg being in Limassol, not Buffalo?
Not really.
No.
Not really, because at the end of the day, Buffalo's pitch is shit. It's no good. So it will be more like an advantage for the Buffalo's players playing in Alpha Mega.
Well,
than a
look, bro,
disadvantage.
I think Lucasen is suspended and Goldeyes on 100%. And that's
The point,
two central
okay, so the point is, depending on the lineup tomorrow, is if Omonia manages to hold on the ball, I think they'll win it. If Bafos presses too much and Omonia can't win the ball, we're going to lose.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I think.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I just hope if we are to lose the game, it isn't going to be one of those situations where we can't turn the game around.
Yeah.
You know, Lucasen and Correa are out, which is big for us because it looks like Bruno is going to play right back for them. I don't know who they're going to play at centre back. It's going to be a very, very interesting one for sure. Bukamir isn't even on the list for the squad. So it looks like it's going to be a makeshift back four. I think Hangabout. No. I thought Dragomir was going to be out, but he's suspended at the weekend.
He's suspended at the weekend, not now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, mate, I'll tell you, we obviously the first 20, 25 minutes are going to be very, very vital because Buffalo do start games quick. They will start games quick. But look, I think, you know, Yanni's got a system, he's got a plan, and I'm pretty certain it's going to be about containing them, keeping the score to 0 till half time, and then stepping up second half, which is what Omonia has been doing since he's taken charge.
Most probably. Well, like I told you, I think, in my opinion, I think the winner of tomorrow's game is going to be the one that has the possession.
Well, let's see. Anyway, Pedro, again, thank you for joining me. Boys and girls, if you're not already on Instagram or not following us already on Instagram, you should be at This Is Mappa. As I told you at the beginning of the show, since 3 months ago, the last 90 days, we have got over 700,000 views of our content. In fact, for the last 30 days, we stand at 405,000 views in the last 30 days, which is ridiculous for an account that's only got 1,400 followers. So get the followers up, get them up. Anyway, we're done. We'll be back soon. So until next time, boys and girls, or whatever you identify yourself as, adios.
Bye-bye.
Past choices on Friday with Babacar Dion. Thank you.